We're making really good progress on this pop-up for the job. Before we hook up the workflows, let's just quickly make a few little design iterations, make sure we're really happy with it. And also we need a way to capture a salary, and that has two values, and we're saving it to a numeric range. Let's jump in. So first of all, if you just click on the pop-up job, please, I just want you to remove the outset. I don't like outset on my pop-up designs. And let's just also edit the style and remove the outset. Just a personal choice, folks. Notice here on the style as well, we do need a border of solid with the border color. Okay, happy with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I noticed that our state button or our state text element changes to the same color as this button, which I actually don't want. So we're going to click on the conditional tab for the summary text and change the background color. And let's change it to maybe just our border color, okay? Which means our font color can stay the same. Maybe even the surface color would be fine. Yeah, surface will be fine. Let's do the same for the description text. Conditionals tab, background color, change to surface. All right, those are two small changes I wanted to make. Now just close the, in the elements tree, close your group description and open up your group summary, because we do need a way to be able to capture the salary. So what I want to do is I am going to head down to my reusable elements, grab a label and input and just drop it inside this group in the center. When it's in the center, tap on the layout tab and make last. Now I'm going to detach this reusable element, and actually I realize when I detach it, it'll probably send it to the bottom, which it did do. Oh well, the bottom of the group, that's where I want it. Let's change the label to, what are we naming these? Group label and input, that's fine. Okay, group label and input's fine. Let's change first name to salary. And now we're just going to, actually before we delete this, what I want you to do is scroll down on the left-hand side until you find slider input. It's under input forms and it's called slider input. Click once and then drop it inside this group label and input. Let's just do some basic design work on the layout tab. Going to remove fixed width and min width, and let's try a height of, let's try 12. Okay, 18 will do, that's fine. And now on the appearance tab, let's have a look. So we want a min value and a max value. And I'm going to say that the min value must be at least 10K. And that the max value can go up to, I don't know, 100,000, 250, 500,000? Oh wait, 250. Let's say that we drag this in increments of 5,000. And we want this to be a range slider because we're going to have two, the min and the max value. The initial content, we need to set the parent group's type. So I'm going to click on group label and input, just make sure it's a job. And that's a parent group's job. Fantastic. Now I'm just going to delete this. It's in the way, don't need it. Great. So the initial content we're going to get from parent group's jobs salary. And the fact that this turns blue means it's a match. If I hover over the word salary, it says evaluates to a numeric range. Now that would only turn blue, which means this expression is correct if it matches a field of numeric range. And we already know that a salary is a numeric range. So if a salary was a number, that wouldn't work, okay? You wouldn't get a match, it would remain red. Okay, let's make the handle colors black rather, and the range area blue. And back on the layout tab, let's actually make this a bit taller. 24. Maybe the handles can also be blue. Yeah, we'll try that. Background color is set to surface, and I don't actually want a border color, so I'm going to set this to 0. Maybe not surface, maybe yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, looking good. But now we need a way to basically feed back to a user the current value that these min and max handles represent. So what we need to do for that is take salary, go copy paste. And basically what we're going to do here is reference the min value. And to do that, we can actually just point directly to the slider input value. So I'm going to type slider input A's values, min, and then format that as a currency. I'm going to choose no decimal places. We're doing increments of 5,000, so we don't need decimal places. And just so I know what it looks like, I'm going to type in 5,000 in the canvas placeholder. Okay, let's make this 12. Do we actually have a body? No, we don't have a smaller style. Okay, 12 will have to do. And on the layout tab, I'm going to choose fit width to content. Great. Now I'm going to copy and paste. This will become the, if I just hover over the min section, I can change just that section of this expression to max. And let's type 250. Okay, now we can highlight the 5,000, hold down shift, let's grab the 250, right click, group elements in a row container. And on the layout tab, let's say space between, and then remove the min height. So these numbers will change as these bars are dragged, or the handles are dragged left and right. Okay, let's head over to the Save button now. So add a workflow. We're going to be creating a job, folks, creating a new thing, new job. I'm going to add all fields. So the company is the current page company. We need that. The description. I don't think I've named this description correctly, so I'm just going to go find group description, open that up, and yeah, I didn't name it correctly. So multi-line input description. I prefer, over time, as you become more experienced, you might prefer to abbreviate like a multi-line input to MI or an input to IN, up to you. I prefer just to leave these written as they are. Okay, so now we should be able to find it by typing here it is, multi-line input, description's value, expiry date is the date that the date and time picker, that's also not named. Okay, let's go back and name everything correctly here. So input job title, correct. Term, drop down term, correct. Drop down location, yes. And this one should be date picker's value. So that's a date picker job. And then we'll grab the value of that. So date picker job's value. When we create it, we'll say it's live. We can build logic to delay that and have pending at first. The location is drop down. Wow, okay, we have a few here. All right, so when we run into this issue, then we have to be more specific about the naming. Job. Drop down location, job, the value. Salary, fun one. So slider input A's, values, min, and then we're going to scroll down and look for range, and then we're going to say slider input A's, values, max. It's simple as that. Term is the drop-down term. See how Bubble has actually disabled these other drop-down options because term is of type option set term, and the only matching option set term is this one here. So that's really useful. Then the title is the input title. Job titles value. Okay, we're going to set things slug next, guys. Set things slug, and we're going to set the result of step 1, which is the creation of that job. And we're going to set it to the job title. Now, why are we doing this? Because a job will be displayed on its own dedicated page, and that will have page data of type job. Nice, clean URL. That's excellent for SEO purposes as well, and nice to share amongst friends, family, and community. So what we're going to do is the slug will be the job title. Again, you want your keywords in your URL. But as it's a jobs board, maybe we should also have the company, even better for SEO. So it could say Orbit No Code Engineer, and it's a jobs board. So Google knows and will be able to probably create rich snippets from this, because Google knows it's a jobs board. We are feeding the company into the slug, and we're feeding the job title into the slug. Really effective. So instead of just the job title, what we're going to do is this. Current page company's name. And I'm going to use a hyphen, and then we're going to say the input job title's value. Next step is to reset inputs, ready for the next one. And the last step is to hide the pop-up. Element actions and hide, and then just point to the pop-up. Okay. Let's go ahead and create a job. Now make sure you're logged in as Hannah for this, okay? Need to be logged in. So we're going to say new job. Job title is going to be, shall we say, senior developer. Let's say it is part-time for this one. San Francisco. And expires a month from now. So I'm just going to go to April 18th for me. You do a month on your end. Okay, let's see this thing in action. Very nice. So it's a senior position. Let's get the salary from about 120, bring down the right handle to about 200. At 180. Let's go ahead and save. Fantastic. Senior developer, part-time, San Francisco, starting salary is 120. 18th of March is when it was posted. Let's go look at the salary data in the database. App data, jobs, and here we go. 1200 to 1800. This is the format. It's formatted as an array. And with that, we have both of our values in there. We didn't do the description. We'll come back and write some better descriptions when it's relevant. Okay, now we need a way to edit a job, and we're going to just use the same pop-up, but we need to make it obvious that we are editing and not creating. Okay, so a few steps involved. So the way to know if we're editing a job is basically if there is a data source, and I don't mean a data source hard-coded in here, but if we push data into the pop-up, Bubble actually knows that. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go to Create Job. I'm going to click on the Conditionals tab. And we'll write this expression. When parent group's job is not empty, and that's the expression, then the text becomes edit job. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to click on the subtitle, and I'm going to paste it in for the first expression. When the parent group's job is not empty, let's change this text. So instead of create your job below, edit your job titled, and now let's feed through parent group's jobs title. And if we open up the rich text editor, we can actually highlight this part of this text and click on bold. Okay. But what happens now, because we have a single save button? And this is where we're going to use conditional statements in the workflow area. So we're going to use the same button. Let's edit the workflow. So I want you to first of all click on this event when button save is clicked, change it to green, green for go. And we're going to add a conditional statement that says when the parent group's job is empty, so we're not editing a job because the parent group's job is empty, there is no job, then we run this workflow, the rest of this workflow. I want you to now right click, copy on this green event, right click, paste, change the color to orange, and now let's say when the parent group's job is not empty. So is not empty. Now let's do something else. So we're going to change this up. So instead of creating a new job, I'm going to delete that. I'm also going to delete this thing slug. And let's say we're going to make changes to thing. And let's drop this back into position 1. Perfect. So we're making changes to the parent group's job. And now we add all fields. We don't need to do the company again now because the company is already in there and it can't be changed. So we're going to delete that. I'm going to let you go through and hook this up. Multi-line inputs value, expiry date, date pickers jobs value. So live, we wouldn't edit either, but we probably do need some UX just to take a job offline with a button click. Location. Salary, term, and title. Okay, fantastic. And what I want to do on each of these as well is to show the little alert that we built for the settings area. So let's go down to element actions, show message, and successfully saved. Yep, that's what we want. So I can just right click, copy, head over to the green event, right click, paste. Okay, so just double check on the green event you have parent group's job is empty. On the orange event you have parent group's job is not empty. Okay, so one of those will always run. Now in order to get a job into this pop-up, we have to start at the repeating group. So there are my jobs. And what I was thinking of is these three little dots that represent show more basically. So with that highlighted, I'm going to start edit the workflow. This is something new now, pay attention. Element actions, and under group, we're going to display data. And what display data does is basically pushes the data into that pop-up, the group object. So now we know what group we're talking about, what group we're editing and saving. So pop-up job, and it's going to be the current row's job, which is job data. And the pop-up is also set to a job. Now we also need another step 2 because that's not going to show the pop-up, that's just displaying the data. So it can display the data with that pop-up being closed. So we do need to say element actions, show, and then show the pop-up job. Okay, let's go and try that. Why don't we edit this one, the first one, no code engineer. Okay, there's no salary in here, there's no location. We can change it to part-time. Let's change most of the stuff. So let's change full-time to part-time. Let's just change no code engineer to developer. Choose a work location, maybe LA for this one. Expires random date in the future. I'm going to say 16th of May for me. Salary, let's do 80 to about 130, depending on experience. And let's go ahead and save. Successfully saved. There you go, guys. No code developer, part-time in Los Angeles. That's the starting salary. Okay, guys. Pretty happy with that. We created the job and we can now edit the job. Our 2 major workflows for the job section. We also need a way to delete a job. That involves a few steps because we need a confirmation. So let's dedicate a lesson to that, and I'll see you in the next one.